All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So hi, everybody. Welcome to our January Friends meeting. My name is Stacy Macris. I'm one of the co-presidents of Friends this year with Carrie Chappie, who is also on this call. If you want to give a wave, she's going to be helping facilitate this call, and she's waving if you can see her in the grid view. I'm having some technical difficulties today, so bear with me. If you are new to our Friends group or new to coming to a meeting, we're really happy that you're here. We are an independent organization that works with the Birmingham Public Schools Administration and are really targeting to try to get the best education for all of our kids within Birmingham. We put on a free content specific meeting every month. It's typically the first Thursday of every month. You can find our full schedule at friendsofdifferentlearners.com. And we'd love to have you join any future ones that you might be interested in. If you would like to join Friends, you can put your name and email in the chat function here and we can follow up with you after, or you can go to our website and there's a form there that you can fill out. We do request a $10 donation, and most of that $10 annual donation, and most of that money will go towards grants that we provide the schools to help our different learning community. So some things about today. Today is a virtual meeting, of course. In this Zoom format, we have been recording our meetings. It seems to work best if we wait for questions at the end in this format, but feel free to put them in the chat function as well, and we can, Carrie or myself or one of the other executive members that's on this call will help facilitate getting those answered at the end of the meeting. So I can't see everyone here, but I think we have Hallie Snyder, of course, who is going to be our presenter today. I see her on this. She is the coordinator of career focused education and curriculum for Birmingham Public Schools. I see Laura Maller. She is the executive director of specialized instruction for Birmingham Public Schools. I see Dr. Mbika Roberson. She is, of course, our assistant superintendent, student learning and inclusion. And let me know, Carrie, if I'm missing anybody else here from the administration team, because I can't see everybody on my phone.
Haley or Laura or Mbika, do you guys see anybody that we're missing?
I don't.
I think I'm familiar with.
No, I think Cassandra Carter, our middle school supervisor, may be joining us at some point tonight.
Oh, he is about to come in right now.
Oh,
okay.
There you go.
So we have lots of people to answer your questions if you have them. All right, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Hallie to get us started with our presentation.
Thank you. And thanks for inviting me to attend. I'm excited to be here. I am going to do the question that everyone asks when they're doing Zoom meetings. Can everybody see my screen? But I, for some reason, am not in the right place. Let's try again. Sorry, just 1 second, please. Okay. Better? All right. So as Stacy had mentioned, I'm Hallie Snyder. I'm the coordinator for career-focused education and curriculum at Birmingham Public Schools. And I wanted to talk a little bit about career and technical education, which is an area that is near and dear to my heart, and love the opportunity to get a chance to talk about it. So what is career and technical education? That's a question that we get quite often. And I think a lot of times people think of career and technical education as just a new name for vocational education, which when I was a kid was something you did. You'd learn some skills so that you could get a job right out of high school. And quite often they were jobs that had low skill and often low incomes as well. And so there's been a big change in what career and technical education looks like compared to what vocational education once was. So I try to help explain the difference in the two because it's very different today. So career and technical education is high skill, high wage for high demand career areas. And so for our students as they head out into the world of work, we're really looking at what skill sets can we give kids so that they're able to go out into business and industry and get a job in a high demand career area that's also a high wage area so that they can, have a successful life and earn the wages that they would need to be able to, cover the expenses that they have. So what are career and technical education courses? What is career and technical education programming? It's a sequence of courses to help students focus their education on their career interests. And it prepares them for their post-secondary education, no matter what that education looks like. So for some students, it may be a year in a trade school or community college. For some students, they may choose to go to a four-year institution. It could be students who get their PhD. So it's really just all different levels of students depending on what their career area goals are and what their career interests are. But the idea is it's a sequence of courses. So what are benefits of career and technical education programs? First of all, it's a chance to try on a career area, to see what maybe connects with a student, to see if it's something that they get excited about and to develop a passion around. For myself, when I was in high school, I took my first accounting class, and I joke all the time because it was kind of like I had no idea what accounting was when I first took it. Probably a friend was going to take it, and so I joined them. But the clouds parted and the sun shined through, and I could hear the choral angels singing, and I thought, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. I fell in love with accounting at that point in time, and it really helped me develop some career area interest in high school. So it started to give me that, how does this course relate to what I want to do in the future, which at the time I thought was accounting. And I started taking classes that helped develop those areas. I also had a chance to work in business and industry as a junior as an accounting clerk, and had a chance to really see what that was like in business and industry. And I'm really glad I had that opportunity because it helped me decide that maybe accounting wasn't my true passion. And I got to discover that before I went into college. So before I started taking college classes and swapping majors and things like that, I had a chance to kind of figure that out. So I had time to think about, well, what else might I want to do? And I had spent so much time tutoring students and working with students. And I thought, this is something that I have a passion for as well. And so I took those two loves and became a business education teacher and did that for 11 years. So really getting those opportunities though, helped me decide where I wanted to head in the future. I think that's one of the reasons why I love career and tech ed. It gave me purpose in high school, and it helped me develop what it was that I wanted to do when I decided to pursue a career. It's also hands-on project-based learning activities and assessments. Most of our programs are actually in labs. And so students are doing a lot of hands-on project-based activities, and many of the assessments are hands-on project-based as well. In every one of our programs, we do field trips, we do leadership activities, we have student organizations that are involved in our programs, student competitions, DECA, which is a marketing leadership program that many of our students participate in. There's First Robotics and OKRA, which are both in our engineering programs, and then esports, which is a competition that we do with different schools around the state around gaming and our game design class. And that's part of our IT program as well. We also are very much into business and industry collaboration. So for each one of our programs, we are required by the state to hold at least 2 advisory committee meetings. And so we have people from business and industry around the county who come in and help advise our programs. And so they talk to us a little bit about, what does our curriculum look like? Where should we be looking at making changes in the future? Are there pieces of equipment that we should be looking at purchasing? Are there new trends in the business or industry that we need to be thinking about as we're looking at how we expand our programs? And then also working with us to have mentoring programs with students. And sometimes, quite often, we're able to do even in-work placements with students. So it's a chance to give students those extra connections, which leads me to the next point, which is our capstone experiences or our work-based learning. at the end of each of our programs in business and in engineering, students would have the opportunity to work directly for a business and industry. Some do that for a salary, some do that as a volunteer, but they'd still get that opportunity to spend some work time in business and industry learning about that field and getting a chance to really try it on, like I did when I was in high school working in accounting. Another great piece is that each one of our programs offers free college credit through articulation agreements. And there are about 14 different schools in the state that provide some kind of articulation agreements with different CTE programs. And even for students who don't have a straight articulation agreement, quite often if a student goes to a college or university and explains the work that they've been doing, quite often they'll be able to obtain credit even without the articulation agreement, because a lot of the work that we do, a lot of the programming that students do is at a college level. There are 17 Michigan career clusters, and they're all listed there. So each career that there is falls into one of those categories. Those that are in the bright red are those that we offer at Birmingham Public Schools on our campuses between Groves High School and Seaholm High School. Those that are in the blue-gray color, those are programs that are offered at Oakland Schools Technical Campus. And I'll talk a little bit about the tech campus too. But you can see in our area, we have a lot of programs that are covered. Of the career clusters, we have almost every career cluster covered between the two schools. For some reason, okay. So this is Oakland Schools Technical Campus, the Southeast campus. And I wanted to share this because they're having a virtual career night on January 21st at 6 o'clock. And which is a really great opportunity. If you have interest, this is a really great thing to do. If you have students who are 8th graders who are getting ready to go into high school, it's nice to know what kind of programs are offered, because you need to kind of plan for this transition to go to the tech center if your student decides they'd like to go there. Usually it's for juniors and seniors. There are 1-year programs and 2-year programs, but you need to kind of make a game plan as far as graduation credits, how you're going to be able to take those courses at the tech center. Now there's a lot of things that help out with that. First of all, students attend a half day to go to the tech center. But there are a lot of things in place around curriculum exchanges and opportunities to work with the graduation requirements and the credits that you can gain through the tech campuses as well. So a counselor at the middle school, high school level would be able to help you understand what would need to go into place to be able to do that, or I'm happy to do so as well, because there are ways to work around some of those graduation requirements to make sure that your student has the ability to attend the tech center if that's something they would like to do. And we want to give kids those opportunities wherever possible. So these are the different programs that are offered at our tech campus, the Southeast campus, which is right here in Royal Oak. And we provide transportation in the morning and in the afternoon, so students can attend various programs. Again, mostly what I'm going to talk about tonight is the Birmingham program and the programs that are offered in our 2 high schools, but I did want you to be aware of this because this is a great piece too. So students attend about 2.5 hours, either in the morning or in the afternoon. And then I'm going to click on this website link. This is all on their website, but this is their career night. And then they have all the information about the different sessions. You just actually can click on to access those sessions on career night. So I wanted to make you aware of that. They also have early college information too, for students who might be interested in that. Okay. So this is actually my Groves High School example, but this is all of our CTE programs. And you can see that they're business management, the first column, business management, computer programming, digital multimedia, finance, marketing, architecture, engineering, and mechatronics. Those are all programs that we offer at either Groves or Seaholm High School. And luckily we have the bus that transports students in between the two high schools every hour. So it allows students to be able to access every program that we offer. There's a few of them that are at both schools, and then there are some that are housed in one school or the other, and I can go over that too. But I think the important piece here is that these are the actual CTE programs in the first column, and the second column are courses that make up those programs. And I think that can be a little confusing. So a CTE program is actually a series of courses. And the courses that are listed there are the ones that make up that program. So if, let's say, for example, finance. For a student to complete the finance CTE program, they would take accounting A, accounting B, investments, and personal finance. And if by completing those 4 courses, they would be a CTE completer for the finance program. That would allow them to earn that free articulated college credit. And they would have to obtain at least a C in each one of those courses to get that free college credit. But by doing that, then they have that opportunity to earn that. They also have the opportunity to look at work-based learning opportunities too. I've listed the grades that those classes are available to students because I think that's helpful sometimes, especially if you're trying to make game plans like the 8th grade level or the 9th grade level, so that you know when those courses are offered. And one of the things I really wanted to mention is the fact that although these classes make up a CTE program, students can take any of the classes that are listed under courses and grades at any time just to try on different career areas. And again, my biggest thing is about building passion around career interests for students. So the fact that a student could try on, let's say, advertising, they could try that class just to see, I'm kind of interested in it. I think I'm going to give it a shot. And then maybe they say, well, I didn't really, it's not really my thing. It was okay. It's just not really what I want to go into. So I might try computer programming. I have friends who do that. Maybe that would be fun. They could pop into that class and try it on. So there's those opportunities to try a lot of different career areas on. And then if there's a real interest, then you can also continue to pursue different classes within that career CTE program. Are there any questions at this point? I don't have the ability to see the questions on my screen, but I hate to move ahead. Okay.
I don't see any in the chat right now.
Okay, great. Because I find this slide to be the most confusing, but also the most informational. So in marketing, it's a little bit different because there are sections of courses. So there's a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3. And for students to be completers in marketing, they would complete a class in tier 1, a class in tier 2, and a class in tier 3. So that way they can kind of specialize in whatever area of interest they have. But all of the same segments or curriculum content is going to be covered in each one of those tiers. It's just done through a different delivery system based on student interest. Fashion merchandising is going to be different than social media marketing. Okay. All right. So I just want to go over a little bit about the business and engineering technology programs a little bit further. I have a few pictures. I always think it's nice to see kids in action. In the business area, we actually have quite a few programs. We have the business management, finance, we have multimedia design, and we have computer programming and marketing. And classes that students can take, and just because I wanted to make sure to share this with you, on 9th grade classes that students can take when they first come in are business foundations and career focus. Because a lot of times kids are just gonna try on a class or two, here's an opportunity to do that. And business foundations is a great course. It's part of our business management CTE program, but it allows students to try on all different areas of business. So if you have a student who's interested and thinks maybe this might be an interest area for me, they could go into that class and it would be like a survey of business topics. And then those other courses that are listed, it says which leads to investments, accounting, business law, personal finance, and internships and capstone experiences. Those are all 10th through 12th grade courses. So the ones at the beginning are for 9th graders. The following ones are for 10th grade through 12th. And again, I put the CTE program that they're connected with next to it, which lines up directly to that document that I shared earlier. So for information technology, and these are combined. So this is multimedia and also computer programming. We have Web Design A, which is a multimedia course for ninth graders, and then leads to those courses are listed. The ones that are asterisks are the ones that are under the computer programming CTE program. We just didn't have room to fit it in. But we have students, this is our esports team, the top picture. These are students who competed in the competition for esports. Again, it's a gaming competition. The young man below is a game design student. He's in our game design course. I was very, very impressed watching this young man as he developed this space program where he had to have a ship lift off, hold orbit, and then land the ship in the exact same place. And the amount of science that he had to pull in to be able to do that was really impressive. So this is our marketing program, different courses that are offered. You can see our marketing program is our largest program. It's offered at both high schools. And you can see that there are a lot of courses that are offered for ninth graders. And then they lead to those courses that are listed below. And I wanted to share a few pictures from our different field trips. Students, especially in marketing, we do field trips in every one of our programs, but we tend to do quite a few in marketing because there's such a large program and because there's so many different areas that we can connect to in that field. Yeah, there's not an industry out there that doesn't have a marketing piece to it. So our engineering technology programs, we have architecture, we have engineering, and we have mechatronics. And those courses that students can take when they first start high school to get them introduced. Engineering foundations, just like business foundations, engineering foundations is an entry-level class that lets students learn about different aspects of engineering. And then we have architecture, engineering design, and introduction to energy. And we have students here who are working in the engineering lab. This is an example of the software that we use in our architecture class. So you get a feel for what that program might look like. Engineering technology. These are our upper level classes for engineering. Again, the programs are listed next to the names of the courses. These are students in the upper right-hand corner from our robotics competition. We do have robotics as a club that students can participate in after school. We have a lot of students who are involved in that program. It tends to be pretty successful. And just as a side note, that girl in the middle there, that's my daughter. So she's been actively involved in robotics since she was a freshman. She's a junior this year. Then we have a young man who's working on a CNC machine at Seahome. And this is our architecture program, Mr. Hallie and one of his students with a display board. She was preparing for competition, and that program is offered at Groves. That is my contact information. So if there are any questions or anything I can ever help you with, I'm happy to do so. Did anyone have any questions?
You can unmute to ask a question, or you can put it in the chat and Carrie or myself can ask it.
Yeah, I can actually see them now.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay.
If nobody's going to ask a question, I just wanted to let you know what an amazing set of programs you offer in the high school and even bleeding it down into the middle school. You guys do a great job, and it looks like you're giving the students a lot of opportunity to be able to explore and expand on education that's actually going to do something for them in the future. So it's fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm really proud of our programs. I think we have
Yeah.
great teachers too. And you have my contact information. So if questions come up later and you just want to call and chat, feel free. I'm happy to help wherever I can. Again, this is one of my passion areas, so I'm excited to help students find that passion themselves.
It looks like we do have a question. Are the Birmingham and OSTC programs compatible with Flex or Excel schedules is one of the questions.
Yeah, so Excel and Flex can be a little challenging. Our programs can work fine with them. Anything that you take in our schools, because it's a 1 trimester course or a 2 trimester course, it's much easier to do those programs and do Flex and Excel. If your student has been already doing Flex and Excel and they understand how the how it can be a kind of a challenging schedule to do some other electives. You just have to plan for it. It's not that it can't be done even at the tech centers. You just have to make the plan for it. So definitely something that we can do. Our counseling department can help students be able to make a game plan to move forward. But definitely the career and tech ed programs at both high schools, we can definitely do that with Flex and Excel. I showed you an example of my daughter. She's in robotics. She's also an engineering student in the engineering program, and she's a Flex student. So, so she's been able to make that work.
Is this something that parents need to be actively engaged, or are the middle schoolers currently being exposed to these opportunities at the high school level? I mean, what triggers them to be shown all of this, I guess?
Yeah, so 8th grade, when we do our 8th grade parents night, and also when we do our 8th grade orientations for students, they get a chance to come to the schools and see the different programs that are offered. And we always take them through the elective programs so that they can see what kind of offerings are there. And then each time students go to register, even those 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, we have a chance to share the programs as well.
Okay, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, I sometimes think parents are really helpful though, because I think the free college credit isn't necessarily as interesting to kids as it is to adults. It's nice to know that that's an opportunity, and I find that parents are more interested in that. And I also feel like sometimes there's a stigma that kind of goes with vocational education. I think people think vocational education when they hear career and tech ed, and so I really try to help to change that opinion, because career and technical education is so different from what vocational education used to be.
Absolutely.
We do have another question coming from the chat. If someone starts a program at Oakland schools but realizes it's not a good fit, what should they do?
They would want to contact the counselor at the school as well. And obviously probably, the counselor at the tech center would be able to help them too. So that maybe there's another program that they're interested in at the tech center and they might want to transition to, or our counselor, so we can work to try to our school counselor so that they can work to help them get into other courses. But that happens with all of our classes, right? Sometimes things just aren't the fit that we want them to be. And I know that that's a year-long commitment if you're going to the tech center.
But there's an opportunity to change and get on a different course path?
Yeah, I would think it would depend on what the program is, how far the student is in that program. My position previous to this one, I was an assistant principal of curriculum and instruction at a tech center in Lenawee County. So I know that we worked with students. If things were in a good fit and we were able to, we transitioned them to a different CTE program. I'm assuming that would be the same at Oakland schools, but one way or the other, the most important thing to do would be make contact to our counseling department as soon as possible, and then we can look at what options are there.
Okay, great. I don't see any more questions in the chat. We probably should give it another minute or two. While we're doing that, I know that we had some late joiners here. I just wanted to welcome everybody to our Friends meeting. If you missed the intro, I'm Stacy Macris. I'm one of the co-presidents of Friends this year, and Carrie Chappie, who was just talking, is our other co-president, but we're really happy to see all these people here today. You can find more information about Friends and our meeting schedule at friendsofdifferentlearners.com. We do try to put on a content specific meeting every month that is free and available to the entire community. And our next meeting is going to be February 4th at 7 p.m. and our current schedule is all virtual right now. And that meeting is on police interaction at school with Tamika Spruce, and she is an amazing disability advocate, film producer, writer. So it's a meeting you won't want to miss. It's a good one for everybody. There's another question in the chat here. Are there extra high school credit associated with any of these courses?
Not additional high school credit, but there are opportunities to do replacement or exchange credits. So that's another piece that would be really important to talk to your counselor with. But there are opportunities. Some of the CTE programs actually fulfill some of the Michigan merit curriculum requirements. So students who take specific programs might be able to fulfill, let's say, a world language credit requirement within those courses, or even some math at the tech centers, at the Oakland Schools Tech Center. I know that they teach some math components in some of their programs to allow students to be able to replace that credit for Algebra 2. And so there are some opportunities to do some credit replacement or credit exchanges if need be. So again, reaching out to a counselor if a student's really interested in our programs, or if they're interested in those at the tech campus, that would be the best first step. Or if you have specific examples, again, feel free to call me. I'd be happy to talk you through it, and we can see what kind of options are there as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
There
This
was-
was very, very
there's-
informative. Is there
There's
someone
one
else?
more question in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, it just came up.
Oh,
Or is-
sorry, I missed it. If a student wants the college credit, do they have to apply to the college too?
So if they want the articulated college credit, then, or are you saying, can they take the college credit with them? They would have to use that college credit at that university. So if it was through Oakland Community College, then that student would need to attend Oakland Community College. Although I can tell you that the majority of articulation agreements are not at Oakland Community College. They changed their process and made it a little more difficult to do that. But I do have Baker College, Ferris State University. I mean, there's a ton of different colleges that offer articulated credit, but yes, that student would need to be a student at that school to use the articulated credit. It's not direct credit, so you can't take it with you. But again, even if a college doesn't offer the credit, quite often, if you explain the work that you've done, they are willing to offer credits. I've heard that many times before. If you explain the courses that you've taken and the work that you've done, quite often you can get an elective credit or a beginning program credit, or more, 3 credits based on how they see that work fitting into that program that you'd be interested in pursuing.
Right, Haley, we have another question. It's not popping up on everyone's screen though.
Yeah, it didn't pop
Based
up
on based on your experience, what career fields seem to be good fit for kids on the spectrum?
I think it just depends on that student. I don't know that I have a specific career area. It's interesting to see how many different kids do well at how many different programs. So I think it really just depends on that student and their excitement about that particular area.
Okay, thank you.
It's just giving it a minute to see if any more questions pop in. Okay. I think we will then conclude our meeting for the night. I hope to see everybody at the February 4th meeting on police interaction. Thank you so much, Hallie, for joining us and providing everybody your contact information to follow up with you. It's great information, and obviously there's a lot of interest in knowing more about these programs. So we appreciate your time tonight.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I hope everyone has a nice Thursday night. We're going to conclude our meeting. Bye, everybody.